Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It is Thursday the 19th of October. In this video we are going to look at the charts on the S&P 500. What we'll see is that at the last video we were trading at the upper barriers of the Bollinger Band. We've pulled away from there, but there's still some concerns on the Bollinger Bands as it looks like the 50-day moving average is going to move up above the lower boundary. Historically, that has been the precursor for a consolidation, or it's happened during a consolidation. However, we'll see that the medium and long-term picture on the S&P still points upwards. Let's look at those charts. So starting with as usual, the weekly picture. So each candle here represents 1 week. And you can see that we still remain well above the 20, 50 and 200 week moving averages. They're all moving up. And we're, if anything, just towards the upper boundary of a trading range, and it's all upwards, and there's no sign of that breaking at the moment. You can also see we've got solid upside momentum. The RSI 74.26, slightly overbought but nothing untoward. And the MACD short term has actually moved back above the long term at a high level, again slightly overbought, but an indication that this market has got solid upside momentum. So nothing to worry about there. And today we're in the pre-market, we're having a bit of a shakeout, and it doesn't even register on this weekly. If we move to the daily, you can see that that we're down today. This is in pre-trade. But it still only brings us halfway back towards the rising 20-day moving average. At the last video, I pointed out that we're up against the Bollinger Band, the upper barrier on the Bollinger, and that that only happens 4 or 5 days, and then there's a consolidation. Well, we have had a consolidation, but it's been marginally upwards in move. That's let the Bollinger Band move away. So we are kind of, we're not mid, we're still high levels in the Bollingers, but away from that upper boundary, yet we have still moved up. That happens sometimes. One thing of interest on the Bollingers, whilst I'm talking about them, is that you can see that the lower barrier on the Bollinger is about to go above the 50-day moving average. You can see historically when that has happened. It happened back in March. It then happened in June, and momentarily it happened, or for a few days it happened in August. Each time that it's occurred, it's been during a consolidation, or there's been a consolidation following. So please be aware of that. That is a warning sign. Other factors to point out on this daily are that the RSI is still well above 50, although it does seem to be tracking down and maybe about to create a downtrend. It's presently at 66, and the MACD, the short term, has just moved below the long term on this morning's trade. And some would say that is a sell signal, as they're now tracking down with the short term below the longer term. So beware of that. But I would say that let's wait to see how we test this moving average. Obviously, it was the moving averages back in the first week of September that gave the trampoline effect as they moved up, that gave the good move. Let's see how we cope when we come back to that support. On the 4-hour picture, here you can see slight worrying sign that the moving averages haven't given support. We've fallen already back below the 20 and the 50, and you can see that we've got negative momentum. The RSI has collapsed. It's at 37.79. It's at its lowest level now since the kind of late September when we were well lower. But it's just a sign that momentum has been lost, and again on the MACD, short term has moved below the longer term, and some will be seeing that as a sell technical indicator. Let's look at those support and resistance levels. We've got resistance at 25.63.5 and 63.8. That's the all-time high, the 0.8. And then support initially 20-day 25.35.75, and then second support at 24.94.59. Remembering, of course, that we have already broken through the support of the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. Right, the key takeaways from today's video is that we've moved away from that upper Bollinger Band, however, it does look like that 50-day moving average may move above the lower Bollinger, which has historically been during a consolidation or is followed by consolidation. In the short term, we've seen that the MACD especially is showing that short-term momentum has been lost and is now negative. That's on the daily and the 4-hour. And the moving averages supports do need to hold. But looking at the weekly, the medium long-term trend still remains upwards. Many thanks for watching the video. Please do remember these videos are my opinion only, and they're not an investment opinion or recommendation. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please do click that subscribe button. You then get email updates when I come out with further videos. I don't just cover stock indices, I also cover the FX, commodity, and I do single stocks in the UK and the US. Many thanks for watching.